Hello, Professional Communication Class 320. Welcome to a discussion about Chapter 4 with me, Bill Perkins. So today I'm going to be talking about two subjects: searching for the right job with the right employer, and negotiating for a good salary when you find the right job and that right employer. So the first question that I have here is similar to writing your resume. Many of you have done extensive job searches in the past. Our authors offer some specific advice for job searching. How have your searches mirrored and deviated from the process advised by our authors? Is the advice useful? Discuss why and/or why not. So if we start with researching openings, pages 68 through 71, I kind of rearranged things a little bit, and I'm going to go with what worked for me the best. Use word of mouth with educators, friends, family, and others that you know in the field. Believe it or not, this works the best for a lot of people. Check with state and federal employment services. The state and the federal government hire a lot of people. You never know what's available till you look, and they usually have a lot of good benefits. Stuff that's worked for friends of mine that the book lists: start looking at career centers in your school. Go to job fairs, look at classified help wanted ads. Check different websites that are used to post openings like Monster and such. Check with private employment agencies, headhunters. The easiest way to find them is call an HR office of a place that you'd like to work at and ask who they use, what agency. You can also call the HR offices at places like, for me, Techfield, Microsoft, Google, so forth, and ask who they use. The other way that seems to work a lot for people I've met is get your resume and general cover letter posted on like LinkedIn or on tech ads, specifically if you're going into the tech industry, on Monster and such, because I guess a lot of headhunters review those. And make sure that when you're putting them together, your resume and your cover letter that you're posting, that you use a lot of common search terms and descriptors that are applicable to the job you're searching for. The other thing is websites and employment portals for the companies you're interested in working for. And of course, don't forget to check with research professional associations in your field. The other thing you want to look at is researching potential employers. You want to look at the companies and the positions they're offering that you're interested in. You want to find out about those companies. Go on websites like Glassdoor. You got to set up and maybe pay to use their services, but you'll get a lot of good information about companies. And go look at the place itself. Check it out. Do they take care of their building? Do they take care of their office space? What does it look like inside? Is it all cold and gray and uniform, or is there a little bit of color, some plants, some life, some art, something? That'll give you an idea of what kind of place you're going to be working for. Find out about community involvement. Check with Better Business Bureau and other agencies and look online to see if there's been any complaints about them. Just do a general Google search and see what you can find. And then the other thing, of course, look at libraries, newspapers, and check with business associations. All right, so those are the ways to find out, is it a good company? Top Resume says on topresume.com that one way you can tell is, if you're going in for an interview, are you actually interviewing with the person that's going to be your boss, the person directly above you? Are they very clear about what they tell you they want from you? Are they a little bit rude with you? If they're rude with you in the interview process, you may not want to work there. Of course, check their reputation. Do they have a reputation? Is there a lot of people leaving? Do they suddenly have all these positions that need filled? See if people are talking behind their back. And when you go in, if it just doesn't feel right, the mood's off, pay attention to that. Okay, the other question I'm going to look at is, if you've had the opportunity to negotiate formally for salary or benefits as part of the hiring process, how did your negotiation process work? Was it similar to or different from what you read about in a chapter? Would this information have been helpful? Why or why not? Be specific and use the text to support your response. So if we start out by looking at salary questions on page 91, per the book, they want you to prepare before your interview. Be sure to examine what the pay scale is. Look to see for your credentials, your experience, and the location, the geographical location, what they're paying. Remember that, what may be paid here is going to be less than places like Seattle, LA, Houston, so forth. If, when you look at this, it seems like they're advertising a real low ball salary, go ahead, make an interview. This is your chance to interview with somebody you really don't want to work with and get some experience and practice for it. In that interview, if they want an answer before even thinking about hiring you about what you want for a pay, per the book, give a range starting with the employer's probable salary and ending with a little bit above what you're willing to accept. Try to think, 10, 15% above what you want and add that on there. Negotiations are covered in page 92 through 93. And what they talk about is, and this is what has been my experience really, once an offer of employment is made, it's time to negotiate your salary and benefits. Let them make the first offer. If they want you to go first, remember what we discussed above about asking for a range where you think what it is to, go ahead with that top number. Throw that out there. You never know, it might work. Remember to maintain a polite, collegial, and collaborative tone. Say things like, I really appreciate the opportunity to work at such and such company. I know we can come to an agreement that we're both going to be happy with. Try to talk about what the other entry-level positions in that company make when they start with your type of experience, if you can find that information. Do not talk about what company X is willing to pay. That is just a no-go. Don't go there. Don't forget to talk about benefits like vacation, sick time, dental, and medical coverage. Do they have an HSA, which is a savings program for medical costs? Moving expenses. You never know, you might find a job in another city. Are they going to pay for it? Or better yet, if a headhunter gets a hold of you and says, hey, here's company X in Houston, they're more likely going to be willing to pay to something towards those moving expenses. Equipment. Are they providing phones, computers, company vehicles? What are the normal benefits for this type of position? And if it looks like you're getting better benefit package, are you willing to take a slightly lower salary? So you got to keep that in mind. The book says if the final offer does not meet your needs or expectations, do not be afraid to turn it down. Now, what's not in the book, and what I'm going to tell you is, be polite, express your regret that you guys could not come to an accommodation, tell them how much you like the company and value it, thank them for their time, shake their hand. Be polite to everybody. Do not look disappointed. Try to keep that real positive energy going. You never know, and it's happened to me. They may call you back and offer you the job at the salary you requested. So keep that in mind. Even when you think it's over, it may not be over. And even though, once again, the book doesn't tell you to do this, even if you don't get that job right off the bat, send them a thank you note. Always do it. You never know. And it might even help you later on, because that company may call you up, the HR person or the supervisor you were talking to. Now, this has not happened to me, has happened to my brother. The person he interviewed with, he didn't get hired at their company. That person then called him a couple weeks later and said, hey, I know another company that's perfect for you. It's right in your alley, and they'll pay you what you want. He got that job. So those are just a few bits of advice. Hope it helps for you. Have a great day.